God, I want a V8.
All hail the mighty Sequoia. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. It's Finn with Treehouse Overland. We got a small project for you today. We're going to be doing rear bump stops. If your truck is lifted and you're running a large tire, it's a good idea to upgrade your bump stops. You need something to prevent the tire from hitting the inside of the fender well, and also to help prevent damaging your rear shocks by overextending them. I chose the Daystar Universal Polyurethane bump stops. They're about 2.5 inches longer than stock. Alright, so I started by jacking the rear diff up and then placing stands underneath the frame right in front of the rear control arms. Then I let the rear diff drop back down so I can have as much space between the axle and the frame as possible. I'm going to need to get a drill up there, so I want a lot of room. E-brake is on, front wheels are chocked. Let's get this wheel off. Start by removing the old bump stops. Quick side-by-side comparison. These are about double the size. Time to figure out where to drill those holes. I'm going to use the existing holes to help me keep it centered above the axle. A little something like this. So guys, I ended up making this way more complicated than it needed to be. If you mark the center of the two factory bump stop holes, and then you mark the center of the new bump stop, just match those marks up and you're good to go. This is assuming that you're using the factory rear control arms or aftermarket arms that are set at the factory length. One thing I noticed while I was doing this is how the old factory bump stop was mounted off center. It really stuck out of the side of the frame. I wonder why they did that. I also noticed how pounded in the area under the bump stop is. No clue how that happened. Alright, so let's mark my holes with a punch. Check it one last time and drill our pilot holes. I started out by drilling 1/2 inch holes because I know I'm going to need them at least that big to accommodate the RivNuts I'll be using. Alright guys, we're going to use the RivNut Tool again. The last one did break on me, so I sent it in for a replacement. We're going to need to find something that's going to work with this. So, 5/16. It's a little small. I think we could go up one. 3/8. Let's see. Perfect. Alright, 3/8 it is. I lucked out and found 4 bolts that I bought for a project I never used. The washers are a little jank, but they'll do the job. I ended up having to enlarge the holes a little more. So guys, I have mixed feelings on these RivNut tools. When they work great. But the thing is, especially with some of the larger sizes, they break. I'm now on my 3rd replacement from Amazon, and I'm convinced all the people leaving the 5-star reviews aren't using any of the larger sizes the kit comes with. This spot was tricky because, as you can see, I can't get the handles completely closed. The axle's in the way. It ended up working, but I was a little worried there for a minute. Nice. There she is. Looking good. And those bolts snug up really well in those nut certs. I'm actually sort of surprised. Yep. Looks good to me. Alright guys, so I've been rocking these bump stops for about 6 months now, and I gotta say, I like them. My tires still rub a little bit when I'm really flexed out, but that's okay with me. I will sacrifice a little bit of tire rub for some added articulation. And keep in mind, I'm running 35s. When I had 33s, these things did their job perfectly. No rub. But every time you go up a tire size, you're faced with a new set of issues. Totally worth it in my opinion, but that's a discussion for another video. Bump stops in general, guys, can range anywhere from, $20 to hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And unless you're doing speed, whoops, jumps, desert racing, I don't think you need to spend $300 on some bump stop. Something that's just going to softly stop your axle. To me, it's just not worth it. There's a lot of money to be spent in other areas that are more important. And as always, guys, these are just my opinions. I'm not a professional. So with that being said, I hope this helped somebody. This is Finn with Treehouse Overland, signing off.